We want to create wealth, and at the same time, we want also to create employment for our youths. The cargo throughput in Kisumu has grown from 6,000 in 2019 to 280,000 in 2024. In 2023 alone, we had handled only about 127,000 tons. 2024, we did over 280, which is over 100% growth because of the infrastructure that has been put there, and also supporting investors in providing conducive environment to do business. We've built a new port in Lamu. We've now started seeing ships starting to call because of our marketing strategy again. And as a country, it is also very good and very important to have at least 2 ports, that in case anything happens here, you also have another port. And we're investing in the small ports also to support our fishermen, to provide a platform where they can be able to land fish in a safe way and in a cheaper way, in terms of bringing modern fishing technology that today, if you want to go and fish, you know where you are. Maji yetu, dhamani yetu.
Kwa majina ni Cecilia Naserian. Mimi ni mkazi wa hapa Ngatu-B. Mimi ni mkulima wa samaki, pia ni mkulima wa chakula vingine kama mahindi, maharagwe. Hii kazi ya ufugaji wa samaki ninafanya kwa sababu mzee ashughuliki naye. Mzee anataka zile ufugaji kubwa ya ng'ombe. Sasa akiona samaki, yeye anasema hiyo ni kazi ya wamama. Sasa mimi inanifaidi sana, dibangi yangu yeye ashughuliki naye. Pesa hapa ninauza samaki, nasomesha watoto, niko na watoto wako shuleni. Pia inanisaidia mahitaji yangu ya ile tu ya kawaida ya binadamu. Samaki haina kazi nyingi sana kama ng'ombe. Samaki ukishaipea chakula na uwekea maji safi, hautashinda hapo kwa kidimbu ya kuchunga samaki. Unaenda shughuli zingine zako kufanya kazi zingine. Sasa ina stress, ni biashara starehe. Hata saa hii ninaitwa tu mama samaki. Unasikia tu kwa umbali samaki. Nikisikia samaki tu napinduka, najua ni mimi ninaitwa. Sasa wanafurahia kwa sababu hata wengine tayari saa hii hawakuwa wanajua samaki. Walikuwa wanaona samaki kwa picha. Wanakuja kutembea huku kuona live. Mpaka saa hii tu wengine wanakula, wangu wanakula. Pia hata mimi sikuwa nakula. Kitambo nianze kufuga ndio nimeanza kuonja kidogo. Saa hii mimi ni mlafi kabisa ya samaki. Kwanza Wamasai hawakuwa kabisa wanadhubutu kusikia hii harufu, lakini saa hii hata kama anakula kwa sababu ni dawa, anafunga kidogo mabua ndio akule asisikie harufu, lakini inatibu mwili wake. Vile serikali saa hii inaangazia hii mambo ya samaki, huwa nimepelekwa matrainings mingi sana kwenda kusoma umuhimu wa samaki, jinsi ya kufuga, jinsi ya kutunza pond. Wamenielimisha kwanza, wamenisaidia na hizi liner, hata hizo fingerlings ndio walituletee, wametusaidia nazo. Wakatupatia hii ya kuzuia zile predators, hiyo net. Wametusaidia sana na tutanufaika hata zaidi. Maji yetu, dhamani yetu.
Naitwa Bruno Ishoso. Mimi ndio mkurugenzi mkuu wa service ya Kenya Coast Guard Service. Tuko na great potential, endeleza kusukuma nchi kwa uchumi iendelee vizuri sana. Kazi yetu ni ku make sure tuko na usalama ya kutosha within all our territorial waters. Na beyond usalama hiyo, kuna tena ile ya safety. Wale wenye wako na biashara kwa maji, wakiwa na shida ama nini, tunashughulikia haraka, first response mechanism hiyo. Tuliingia hapo tukaambia tuko na sheria ya maji na hatukukimbia kuenforce, tulikimbia kwanza kufunzana na hao. So tuko na program ile kubwa sana supported na government ya Kenya na hata na wenzetu kutoka ng'ambo. Kazi ni kufunza wananchi na tumeanza ku turn around minds. Kwanza kuambia hii mali ni mali yenu, tuitunze, tuitumie sustainably. Mkienda kwa maji, upande wa usalama, muangalie vitu fulani, mvae namna hii, hizo vifaa zenu ziko compliant. Ukienda pale kama Lake Victoria, tumekuwa na shida sana, changamoto na kwa sekta ya uvuvi na wenzetu from across Tanzania na Uganda kama Migingo kule. Sababu ya Coast Guard kufika hapa, tumeleta utulivu na kubuild confidence na wavuvi wetu na tena kubuild urafiki na wenzetu across. Shida ikitokea kwa hao, tunaongea na wale wenzetu kule, tunaingilia ndani na tunatatua. Wakenya, maji yetu, dhamani yetu.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kenya.
Wake up with Good Morning Kenya, the morning show that's got it all.
We dive deep into issues shaping our country.
Youth are a voice of a nation.
What is the next step for the young people?
Unpacking political landscape from Monday to Wednesday.
We discuss family matters.
It is very important to guard your relationship.
And for your health,
someone doesn't wake up and they become an addict. It's in stages.
We've got you covered each and every Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Every Wednesday, it's all about the viewpoint.
A day in politics is like 1,000 years.
Unpacking the biggest stories of the week, getting you insights and getting you ready for your day.
And the package is not yet done. I get to fix your Thursday with some entertainment. Entertainment Thursday, it is.
Good morning, Kenya.
We shape your day.
Good Morning Kenya, every weekday morning on KBC Channel 1.
Greetings in the name of the Most High, Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
In a world where news is ever-changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first.
You have to do the impossible to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
They say the earth without art would just be get it? We circumnavigate the globe and traverse the local scene to bring you art and culture at their very best. From fine art, culinary art, performing arts, and even cultural events, you name it, and we have got you covered. My name is Kevin Kasioki, and I will be serving you this and much, much more each and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
The young generation awakens on Y254, the leading youth TV station in Kenya. We treat you to current affairs, entrepreneurship, health, and human interest conversations.
It's art, it's culture,
movies, gossip and trends, sports, drama.
We bring you a vibe like no other, straight to your living room.
To keep you informed, inspired, entertained, and most of all, refreshed.
We are such a vibe. Y254. Imagine. Are you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with our music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
I never heard the music so sweet. I repeat.
Wagwan, me brethren, big things are going. Remember, each and every Monday we have to shell down the place with nothing but the best of smooth reggae vibes in your favorite station. You know these things, man.
Alafu kila Tuesday, kata simu tupo side, giving you Kenyan music from the 254.
And of course, you can spice up your Wednesday by enjoying blazing hot hip-hop and R&B jams.
We don't got no label. She say she want bottles.
Vibes and vibes as we go all across Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, all the way to Tanzania to give you nothing but the best on Afro Thursday. Make sure you make a date with us each and every single Friday with me, DJ_Liza Diva,
DJ Colda,
and me, Wanjiko. This is Club One Extra.
Unanifanya nisikie kunyongwa. Hatija ai, mani especially ukisonga.
Unaishi wapi?
Bangladesh mheshimiwa.
Bangladesh ni India mani?
Sio India, hapa hivi Longai mheshimiwa. KWS.
Ndio.
Umeshawahi kuliwa?
Na nani? Kuliwa na nani? Kuliwa na nani?
Na fisi. Na fisi.
Bado sijakuliwa na fisi.
Bado. First of all, you have said you are a terrorist. Mheshimiwa Maki hiyo
amesema
mjue hapa mko kwa hatari saa hii.
Sikiza. Amesema yeye ni tourist.
How do you run when the hyena is just there? How can you run?
Si uongee lugha ile utaelewa. Sasa hii kizungu unangangana na
tunaelewana kisungu.
Hakuna kitu tunaelewana.
Kwa nini wakati fisi nimeua fisi ndio mnakuja kunishika? Why?
Hao ni wadudu ambao wanapatikana kwa uchafu. Fisi ni mnyama ambaye analindwa na sheria.
So mimi ni mchafu. You want me to say mimi ni mchafu? Baby face kama mimi ni mchafu.
Angalia nywele yako
kwa pasi.
Hiyo sura yako imekunjana ni baby face.
Je, umewahi kuwa na deni ya KRA? Basi usiwe na shaka. KRA wakishirikiana na KBC wamekuandalia roadshow murwa kabisa. Jiunge nasi tukufahamishe kuhusu KRA Tax Amnesty Program na jinsi utakavyoweza kusamehewa adhabu na riba na KRA. Pia tutakuwa tunakusaidia kujaza fomu za kodi za mwaka 2024 na kukusaidia na huduma za KRA kwa mtaa wako. Ijumaa tarehe 30 mwezi Mei na Jumamosi tarehe 31 tutakuwa na mobile clinic mjini Kisumu pale Kenyatta Grounds na Achok, Nyalenda, maeneo ya Mega Mall. KRA, tulipe ushuru, tujitegemee.
Well, we want to thank you for your patience. There was a little technical hiccup, but that has now been sorted out. Live from Broadcasting House in Nairobi, Kenya, Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja seeks more funding from Parliament to recruit and also to train additional officers ahead of the 2027 poll.
And High Court declines DPP's request to continue holding businessman Philip Aroko in the Ongondo Were murder case.
All that coming up, but first, a look at our top stories tonight. Well, because of those technical hiccups, a bit differently without the highlights, let's go straight into the bulletin. But first,
our socials at KBC Channel 1, on all our platforms from YouTube, Facebook, and X. Our sign language expert tonight is Anne Wangeshi. My name is Muchuma Odim.
And I am Mboya. Straight to our top story. Governors want development partners to engage counties directly through the Council of Governors, accusing the national government of introducing bottlenecks that delay implementation.
Consequently, the governors say the national government has not given much impetus to the growth of the devolved units.
Well, speaking in Naivasha this morning, the Council of Governors Vice Chair Mutahi Kahiga said that counties are experiencing delayed implementation of development projects and thus changes must be effected.
Here is that report.
The Council of Governors has yet again expressed frustrations over the delayed disbursement of additional funds meant to fund programs in the devolved units in the 2024-2025 fiscal year. According to the county bosses, the National Treasury has ganged up with the MPs to frustrate the implementation of health, education and agriculture projects, among others.
We are yet, as counties, to actually receive the monies that were appropriated under the County Government's Additional Allocation Act. And it's barely how many days to the fiscal year end?
When and until we address that issue of timely release of all disbursements, then some of these programs may always be having a reporting of below 50% in terms of performance. And you cannot blame it to the governors, you can't blame it to the county governments, you can't blame it to implementing agencies.
And it is a fallacy for anyone to think that money reaching counties is not spent. We are perfectly capable of spending all the money within the timelines. And nobody else, in fact, the World Bank knows that better than anybody else.
The governor spoke in Naivasha at a sensitization workshop on the second Kenya Devolution Support Program, a 4-year World Bank-funded program supporting implementation of devolution through strengthening county performance in financing, management, coordination and accountability.
KDSP2 seeks to build on the legacy of KDSP1 with a sharper focus on reforms, performance and inclusion.
As we all know, the country currently faces fiscal constraints which have affected available resources across the board. Yet within the challenge lies a great opportunity, an opportunity to rethink and strengthen on-source revenue collection at county level. Under KDSP2, OSR is a key reform outcome.
The county bosses also called for the reinstatement of the Ministry of Devolution to oversee the implementation of devolved system of governance.
It's a state department. So what are we saying? Is that our commitment to devolution? What we are saying is we would want a fully fledged ministry that is really ensuring that we stop teetering and we walk straight and make giant steps towards full realization of devolution.
As the country enters the second decade of devolution, stakeholders meeting in Naivasha have termed KDSP2 as a more timely opportunity to reflect to reset and to recommit to a more efficient system of devolution. Reporting for KBC Channel 1 from Naivasha, my name is Joseph Wahungu.
Let's now take you to Parliament. Legislators are calling for the arrest of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua following his recent remarks, which they argued could create tension as the nation gears up for the 2027 general election. Now, while debating a motion by the National Assembly Minority Leader Junet Mohammed on the alleged threats to peace, MPs argued that if not held accountable, Gachagua's remarks made at the media interview may fuel ethnic tension and violence in parts of the country. They further urged the Inspector General of Police to compel the Democracy for Citizens Party leader to honor summons by the National Cohesion and Integration Commission.
Mr. Speaker, and I want to ask NCIC to act. They have a law. They have powers. They need to come out of their cocoon and act. We cannot, if we allow one person to make those utterances, another person will also pick it up, another leader will also pick it up, it will become a chorus, and this country will go to the dogs.
I want to ask Kenyans not to listen to insightful people, not to listen to people who want to divide them according to their tribes, not to listen to people who have formed regional, tribal, ethnic political parties, Mr. Speaker.
No Kenyan should ever die for politics. I want to agree with Honorable Junet that when we said that never again, we should never ever again entertain the politics of bloodshed in this country.
Wajua yuko kama yule mtoto Mheshimiwa Spika ambaye wageni wakija unamficha kwa sababu ataharibu. Yule mpe mic tu kidogo Mheshimiwa Gachagua ashaharibu kila kitu. Juzi ameenda kuchapa wale walikuwa na msupport ambao ni artist. Leo amewachapa. Kesho atafanya mengine na mengine. Kwa hiyo sisi tunasema rais shika kasi. Sisi tuko ndani ya broad based government na tutakusukuma mbele.
It's about time we call out the NCIC, we call out the National Police Service, we call out the IG for selectively, for being selective on matters law, Honorable Speaker, because it's about time Wamunyoro be arrested.
I know some guys are fearing that maybe his community or this and that will bring something. We don't care. Kenyans are 42 communities in this country. And the law should be, applied the way it is, fair and square.
I just want to really support this motion because I cannot imagine in any way as a country, as the young people of this country, that we can be taken back to what happened in 2007. And anyone who supports that kind of utterances, Honorable Speaker, I'd just like to say to them, shame on you.
Anybody who believes that Ruto must go away, then they must remove them through an election. Not what was staged on 26th of June last year, which in itself was an attempted coup. On to the Koimburi update. Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja says that 5 people have been interviewed and recorded statements over the alleged abduction of Juja Member of Parliament George Koimburi Kanja. However, says that the police were having a hard time accessing the Member of Parliament. After detectives denied entry into his ward, Kanja spoke amid growing pressure from Parliament and the opposition to have the MP's alleged ordeal investigated. Give us on minor reports.
The alleged abduction of Juja Member of Parliament George Koimburi, who is receiving treatment at the Karen Hospital, on Tuesday took a twist after Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja alleged that Karen Hospital had denied access to the investigating team from the DCI.
The hospital did not disclose the nature of the treatment or the first aid administered, making it difficult to assess the extent of the alleged injuries.
He, however, disclosed police have interviewed 5 persons of interest to help in the investigation.
The investigating team has interviewed and recorded statements from 5 individuals, with several more expected to provide their accounts, and particularly Honorable George Koimburi, whom we shall interview at the earliest opportunity after his family objected to our attempts to reach him.
Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, told the Security Committee to collaborate with police to provide a preliminary investigation report to the House. He also directed the members of the Security Committee to visit Kiambu in the hospital and provide the House with an update on his condition.
I have directed the chairman of the Security Committee visit the honorable member in hospital so that tomorrow I give Honorable Tongoyo an opportunity to update the House.
Opposition leaders, led by Wiper's Kalonzo Musyoka and Martha Karua of PLP, paid a visit to the Juja lawmaker and demanded an end to political harassment of opposition figures, abductions, and extrajudicial killings.
We urge every citizen, civil society groups, religious leaders, and international allies to stand in solidarity with us in demanding, 1, an end to state-backed disruption of peaceful political assemblies. 4, the protection of constitutional rights, including the freedom of assembly, association, expression, and political participation.
We want to say shame on anybody who thinks a Muchuma like this can abduct himself. And you want us police to believe your story?
At least today, he can whisper something you can hear. He is recovering.
Giverson Maina, Prime Edition.
Well, that story brings us to our first break here on Prime Edition. Coming up,
more with the detail and clarity you deserve. Stay with us.
Many workers access their retirement benefits when switching jobs, unaware of the impact it has on their future. Taking out your retirement savings too soon reduces the income you will have when you retire, leaving your future less secure. Have you thought about the lifestyle or income you want to retire with? The earlier you start saving, the better. And the more you save, the more secure your future will be. Increase your savings today and live your golden years the way you've always dreamed. For more information, visit our website www.rba.go.ke, call our toll-free line 0800-720-300 or email info@rba.go.ke. Secure your future. Secure your peace of mind. RBA, safeguarding your retirement benefits.
The Government of Kenya, through the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development, in partnership with the UN Habitat, welcomes you to the resumed second session of the United Nations Habitat Assembly. The focus will be adequate housing for all and the adoption of the UN Habitat Strategic Plan for the period 2026 to 2029 to be held at the United Nations Complex in Gigiri, Nairobi from Thursday the 29th of May to Friday the 30th of May 2025. Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development, Honorable Alice Wahome, accompanied by the Principal Secretary of the State Department for Housing and Urban Development, Charles Hinga, and the Executive Director of UN Habitat, Ms. Anna Claudia Rosbach, will grace the Assembly. Join global leaders, policymakers, and urban development experts as we advance inclusive dialogue and collective action toward a sustainable urban future for all.
Differently. The cochlear implants are inserted under the skin just behind the ears surgically.
It was the urge to give her son independence that informed the decision that Jackie Njeru took to have the cochlear implant.
I was told about cochlear implant surgery. When the child is young, test their ears as you test the eyes. Test the ears. If they cannot hear, okay, or if you are going for the listening and spoken language, you are going to train them to speak. Implant early and start speech therapy immediately.
Differently.
Back to Prime Edition, coming to you here from Broadcasting House.
Our socials at KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook and YouTube. Tom, on to Health Watch.
That's right. Doctors in Kiambu County have officially commenced their strike despite the last-minute attempt by the county to halt it by seeking a court injunction.
According to the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union National Chair Abidan Mwachi, the strike has been informed by inaction by the Kiambu County government on matters regarding doctors' welfare, including lack of access to medical cover, job group stagnation, and arbitrary transfers, among others.
Here's that report.
Solidarity forever. The Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union had issued a 21-day strike notice that lapsed on Monday, ushering in the strike. Solidarity forever. The strike comes hours after the county government failed to obtain an injunction to halt the strike at the 11th hour.
And they were not given those injunctions, and despite being given a fairly balanced hearing, they chose to serve us at 7 p.m. last night for a hearing that is meant to happen this morning.
According to KMPDU, despite numerous dialogue attempts, Kiambu County has failed to uphold the welfare of doctors.
Kiambu has the highest resignation rate of doctors in the country. Our doctors have been working for years on end, and to give a particular example, the doctors worked 14 years at the same job group, almost going into retirement. They have money to do everything else other than to provide quality healthcare. 23 new brick and mortar white elephants being built, but there is no money to hire specialists at the specialist remuneration. When a doctor raises such issues, they are transferred arbitrarily. A single doctor has been transferred up to 5 times within 6 months.
We cannot continue working any longer, more than 40 hours per week, being denied leave, and our seniors being threatened if they offer the doctors leave.
The union says that despite the doctors offering critical services, they have been unable to access treatment, leading to a surge in fundraising drives.
Kiambu has the highest number of doctors either undergoing rehabilitation or already admitted because of drug abuse and alcoholism.
During the strike, one doctor will be on call at the casualty and emergency departments to stabilize critical cases before referring them to another county for further care.
I want to advise our people of the neighboring counties to sympathize with our patients from Kiambu because they'll be seeking services from them. Only patients in the ward that will remain as of now are patients who are critical, and as soon as they are stable enough to be discharged, they shall be discharged. All the patients in the ICU shall remain in the ICU, and our doctors in ICU shall continue to attend to them. All other services that are not essential, be they clinics, be they rounds, be they other pharmacy, dental procedures, shall not be conducted in any hospital.
A spot check in hospitals in Kiambu revealed that clinical officers are seeing patients, but they cannot admit them. Nancy Okwari, Prime Edition.
Let's now take you to the coastal part of Kenya. President William Ruto now says that various reforms made in agriculture, tourism, and manufacturing sectors in the last 2.5 years has resuscitated the country's economy.
Speaking in a meeting with coast leaders at State House Nairobi, the head of state said that economic growth has seen the country's inflation drop from 9.6% all the way down to 3.5%.
Ruto further told the leaders from the 6 counties of the coast region that the administration is sorting out the historical land disputes in the region by addressing this quota problem and issuing title deeds to residents.
Here's the report compiled by Abdiaziz Hashim.
Days after hosting leaders and residents from Ukambani region, President William Ruto on Tuesday morning met with leaders from Mombasa, Tana River, Kilifi, Lamu, Kwale and Taita Taveta counties to drum up support for key government projects in the region. The head of state used the occasion to state the country's economic progress.
The economy of Kenya in 2 years, we have overtaken Angola, we have overtaken Ethiopia. In 2022, our economy was number 8 in Africa, 8th largest. Today, we are the 6th largest economy in Africa.
Ruto says the effect of the economic growth is a drop to inflation from 9.6% to 3.5%.
Many people cannot believe it could happen. Foreign exchange reserves ambayo tulikuwa nayo was about $6 billion. Now we are closing almost $10 billion of foreign exchange reserves. And that is the reason why today we can now discuss how to build the roads. That is why we can even do the securitization, because we can go to the market and borrow at reasonable rates. There was no way we would have gone to the market if our economy had, if we had defaulted.
Ruto further told the leaders from the 6 counties of the coast that his administration is sorting out historical land injustices in the region.
Bei ya kahawa imeongezeka per kilo from 50 shillings to 150. This year, 3 times what it was. Ile matatizo tumekuwa nayo ya mambo ya sukari, I have sorted it out. Go to any big town today in Kenya. Go to Mandera. Go to Garissa. Go to anywhere. The largest housing development is affordable housing.
Mining Cabinet Secretary Ali Hassan Joho and his sports counterpart Salim Vuria rallied leaders from the region to support the broad-based government in the run-up to the 2027 polls.
Wale ambao hawataki ni wao, sisi tuwataka. Na kila wakikataa sisi tuko. Kukipungua huko sisi tuko tayari kufanya nini? Kujaza. So mimi yangu tu ni kupatia shukrani na kuhakikishia kwamba sisi kama watu wako tutafanya ile kazi ambayo umetupatia.
That we are sitting like this mpaka na Joho hapa namna hii. Kwa sababu saa ingine tumekuwa mmoja yako huku na kundi lake, mmoja yako huku na kundi lake, lakini safari hii sote tuko ndani ya broad based.
Sasa tuachie huyu rais atuambie twende right na twende right. Akisema twende left, twende left, kama watu wa pwani, ili tukae katika hiyo serikali na hiyo inayokuja, tukae hapo ndani
ya kwamba uhusiano wako wewe na baba Raila Amolo Odinga utaendelea, na kwamba tutaendelea sisi tukiamini ya kwamba mpaka.
Abdiaziz Hashim for Prime Edition.
Let's take you back to the National Assembly, and the Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja wants Parliament to allocate at least 6.3 billion shillings to facilitate recruitment and training of 10,000 police officers.
Appearing before the National Assembly Administration and Security Committee, Kanja said the 2.9 billion shillings allocated was inadequate to recruit the numbers required ahead of the 2027 general election.
Now, the National Police Service plans to incorporate Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission and technology to curb corruption during the recruitment scheduled sometime next month.
Ishuki Washira with that report.
For the last 3 years, the National Police Service has not conducted nationwide recruitment. During the period, at least 4,500 officers have since left the service. To fill the vacancies, the National Police Service wants to recruit and train at least 10,000 police officers.
Do whatever it takes to ensure that.
Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja, while briefing the National Assembly Administration and Security Committee on measures to put to ensure the recruitment is transparent, also decried inadequate budgetary allocations, requesting for an additional 3.5 billion shillings on top of the 2.9 billion shillings currently allocated.
And in order for us to recruit and train around 10,000 police officers, we need around 6.3 billion. So that means that we are down by around.
You can repeat the budget for training, kitting, the huge budget. It is so big. We will fight to ensure that IG and the command gets that. It is their role. But please, that what belongs to the commission should be ring-fenced for it.
According to the Inspector General, the recruitment exercise scheduled for June will be merit-based and free from corruption. To enhance integrity, the IG revealed that recruitment officers will undergo a lifestyle audit.
The idea is to address inclusivity, transparency, accountability, and public confidence.
But hidden into all that is to address the issue of corruption. So mitigation strategy in place is to ensure that we deploy EACC, the media, IPOA, and the other observers. Integrity declarations by officers, also anonymous reporting tools, and strict disciplinary and legal actions.
And to boost the public confidence, the National Police Service wants civil societies and religious groups to act as observers in the recruitment exercise. Gishoki Washira, Prime Edition.
And to other developments, Defense Cabinet Secretary Soipan Tuya has lauded the National Defense College for its continued contribution to regional and continental peace and security.
Speaking during the graduation of 66 officers in Karen, Tuya said that innovation and ethical leadership are vital in the pursuit of excellence, especially within the military.
Here is that report by Yusuf Farah.
The graduation ceremony for course 27 of 2024-2025 marked the culmination of 49 weeks of a rigorous and transformative academic program for 66 participants drawn from Kenya Defence Forces, various ministries and allied nations from across Africa and Asia.
Brigadier General Gilbert Alan Mitawa.
While affirming the college's commitment to nurturing forward-thinking leaders equipped with intellectual tools to analyze, assess and respond to today's complex security challenges, Cabinet Secretary Soipan Tuya urged the graduates to use the skills acquired here as they step into the positions of strategic leadership.
Today's security landscape, underscored by terrorism and cyber threats to climate change and economic shocks, demands strategic leaders who are not only informed, but resilient, adaptive, and visionary.
This evening, as College Commandant Lieutenant General Juma Munyikai reiterated the college's commitment to train and develop the capacity of potential decision makers in government, ensure interoperability to address contemporary challenges and other emerging security threats jointly while developing abilities to work together.
Engaged in rigorous academic study, strategic analysis, and practical exercises, honing their ability to think critically, act decisively, and lead with integrity.
Be the leader whose presence inspires trust, unity, and performance. Lead by example. Let your integrity, professionalism, and strategic foresight light the path for others.
The graduates were further urged to uphold the highest principles of duty, honor, and service. The allied countries that participated in this year's course are Botswana, Burkina Faso, Burundi, Egypt, Ethiopia, India, Malawi, Namibia, Nepal, Nigeria, Rwanda, Somalia, South Sudan, Tanzania, and Uganda. After 49 weeks of hard work, resilience and determination, the 66 graduates are ready to take on the world with the lessons learned here today. They're being urged to work together in a mutually supportive fashion and contribute collectively to national security. Yusuf Farah reporting for Prime Edition at NDC Karen, Nairobi.
From that graduation, let's now move into the corridors of justice. Detectives probing the murder of Kasipul, member of National Assembly Charles Ongondo Were, have until the 26th of June to complete investigations on businessman Philip Aroko.
Justice Diana Kavedza of the Kibera High Court further released Aroko, the alleged financer in the murder, and retained the 300,000 shillings bond and strict conditions that had been set by the Jomo Kenyatta International Court.
Now, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution had requested for continued detention of Aroko, citing he had crucial information that is detrimental in the investigations.
Tuesday at the Kibra Law Court, and businessman Philip Aroko was presented after 8 days in custody.
But I still presented myself to the police station where the orders indicated that I was supposed to be. So actually they found me there. That confirms the compliance.
Prosecuting counsel Gikoe Geshoe gave the court an inventory of the details that have so far helped investigators to piece together tight evidence for prosecution. While giving his ruling, Judge Diana Kavesa ordered him to deposit his passport in court and prohibited him from visiting Homa Bay County or its surroundings, among other conditions.
The respondent shall report to the lead investigator every 2 days as submitted by the prosecution counsel.
So far, 12 suspects have been arrested, with 11 of them in custody as investigations into Eres murder on 30th April this year continues. After being rearrested last Monday, Oroko is free after adducing compelling reasons to the court, albeit with strict conditions. At the Milimani, local petitioners challenged the manner in which numerous key positions within the Kenyan Public Service have been filled. In the petition, Lempasu Yanka seeks to stop the president from appointing additional advisors and are also senior appointees, arguing that is ballooning the wage bill.
Duplicative, because there is a very competent civil service that we believe is underpaid. But these political appointees and cronies are paid millions of shillings.
The petition pokes holes in the legal framework and regulations outlining how many advisors the president can appoint, creating a loophole that allows the head of state to flood the civil service with what he termed as political appointees.
There is nothing that the so-called legal advisors or human rights advisors can advise the president, which the office of the Attorney General cannot.
Elsewhere in Mombasa, Shakil Ali Mohammed, who has been accused of stealing 6.9 million shillings from his employer Gateway Marine Service in Mombasa, will remain in custody for 8 days. Appearing before Mombasa Senior Resident Magistrate Gladys Olimo, Shakil denied the charges.
In view of the foregoing, the court sides with the prosecution that the documents presented in court on 23rd May 2025 be verified in order to establish their authenticity.
The matter will be mentioned on June 5th. Ruth Wambui for Prime Edition.
Let's now take you to the counties. Nyandarua County Governor Dr. Moses Kiarie Badilisha has called on residents to embrace fruit tree farming as a dual strategy to boost household incomes and nutrition and combat the adverse effects of climate change.
Speaking during a visit to Karonji Farm, a private venture specializing in tree fruit farming with the support of the county government, Governor Badilisha emphasized the untapped potential in fruit production.
This and more stories in the news roundup.
Nyandarua County Governor Dr. Kiarie Badilisha says county government is continuously developing partnerships to support contract farming arrangements for select crop varieties in order to ensure market and price guarantees.
The beauty of using fruit trees is that they have got very good canopy, but at the same time, you still earn a living through the trees.
Nyandarua County Governor Dr. Kiarie Badilisha says county government is continuously developing partnerships to support contract farming arrangements for select crop varieties in order to ensure market and price guarantees.
The beauty of using fruit trees is that they have got very good canopy, but at the same time, you still earn a living through the trees.
And the Department of Education and Industrial Skills Development, in collaboration with the Department of Public Works, has initiated the construction of 175 new early childhood development education classrooms in all 35 wards in Busia County to reduce overcrowding in existing centers. Finally, the Kenya County Government Workers Union has raised concerns over the failure by county governments to remit workers' pension contributions, accusing them of withholding over 40 billion shillings meant for the local authorities' provident fund.
40 billion outstanding. We can't invest. I established a task force early this year to examine the outstanding debts, recommend measures to address the historical liabilities, and ensure such behavior is permanently addressed.
Treasury and National Planning Cabinet Secretary John Badi and KCGW National Secretary General Ruba Duba made the remarks in Kisumu County during the 14th LAP Fund Annual General Meeting. Doreen Arange for Prime Edition.
Pamela? Where's Pamela?
Morning, Grandma. Morning, Grandpa.
Oh, Snow. Take your tea.
Who texted in the morning?
Hey. Why are you not in school?
I cannot go to school with trauma.
Unbelievable.
Umepatikanaje huku? Si nimefikiria nitakutadana hapa.
Time ulikuwa unafaa kunisaidia, ulinipeana nikauawe.
Imagine hiyo haikuwa plan yangu. Care to explain?
Words have ears.
Acha nikwambie. I will fight my tooth to the bone. No. What brings you here? We used to work with your dad.
Very good evening to you. Thank you for keeping it Prime Edition time for the business news. My name is Betty Kiptum. Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communication and Digital Economy, that is William Kafogo, has called on African governments to scale up funding to help bridge the digital gap. Kafogo, who spoke during the Connected Africa Summit 2025, also called for the implementation of the Nairobi Declaration on Fostering a Connected and Empowered Africa to fast-track digital inclusion in Africa.
According to the Mo Ibrahim Forum report, 89% of learners in sub-Saharan Africa do not have access to household computers, while 82% lack internet access. To fast-track the deployment and adoption of digital services, the African Union has crafted the Agenda 2063 that seeks to connect the continent with the fast internet, lower the cost of broadband, while at the same time creating a digitally progressive society.
We've been referring to Africa and some other nations as South-South. I tell you, one time they will refer to Africa as the giant of digitality in the world. And I know that is coming. So we pull up our socks, we get together. Sometimes I hope we can close our boundaries for some time and just deal with ourselves in here in Africa.
Speaking during the ongoing Connected Africa Summit 2025, Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Information, Communications and the Digital Economy, William Kafogo, says there is need to increase funding to the sector for Africa to reap maximum benefits of the fast-evolving technology. The ICT Authority Chief Executive Officer Stanley Kamangoya has highlighted the importance of assessing progress and addressing challenges in realizing the Nairobi Declaration's objectives.
We have African Union as an important instrument to aid us to realize our politics in this, in the technology process, technology advance, and that is our common voluntary.
The three-day event brings policymakers, investors and innovators together to deliberate on the industry that is fast evolving and emerging as a key pillar of socio-economic development in Africa.
There is a clear understanding that no one really understands where the sector is going. But there is a consensus. Wherever it's going there very fast. O'Brien Kimani from Diani for KBC Channel 1.
The youth should explore how to use tools at their disposal to come up with solutions to local problems and generate income. This is a call by Michael Mutiso, who is a Tala-based innovator who has transformed the ordinary motorcycle into a mobile public address system complete with speakers and amplifier and a solar panel. Take a look.
Michael Mutiso, who is known in the community in Tala
Machakos County, for his spiritual leadership, has added a new feather to his title, an innovator. Mutiso has retrofitted his boda boda motorcycle with speakers, an amplifier, and a solar panel to power the entire public address system. He says his idea was born out of necessity.
We developed a feeding program for more than 100 kids in my village. And feeding those children without someone helping us or a potential donor became a great challenge for me. So I invented this motorcycle for the purpose of reaching out to people. While I preach, I ask them for support. Not for my personal gain, because running a program with 100 kids requires a lot of investment.
The innovation is a familiar sight to Tala's town streets and is a popular choice for local events.
Kama sasa last week, nilikuwa hired Nairobi. Watu wa biashara walikuwa wananipatia like 1,000 for 1 hour. Nazunguka nikitangaza biashara zao. Pastors ambao wako na youth program kama Sunday, kuna pastor amenihaya Ruiru.
His upgraded motorbike earns him about 5,000 shillings a day, which is 5 times what a regular boda boda rider typically pockets.
Sometimes I get up to 100,000 Kenya shillings a month. So I'm able to pay school fees for all those kids because I run a center for them. I'm the only hope they have.
With unemployment being a pressing issue, Mutiso challenges the youth to stop waiting for white-collar jobs and instead take an initiative to innovate based on what is at their disposal.
Now, higher interest income powered HF Group to double its net profit during the first 3 months of this year to 327.9 million shillings, up from 150.3 million shillings a year ago. As Wairimu Njenga narrates, gross non-performing loans increased 6.8% to 11.96 billion shillings, signaling a growing difficulty among borrowers in servicing their loans.
HF Group reported 1.79 billion shillings in total interest income, representing an 18.6% increase during the first 3 months of this year. This was mainly driven by higher earnings from government securities. In addition, the financier booked 425 million shillings in non-interest income powered by higher fees and commissions.
The significant growth in profitability that you are seeing is mainly driven by our diversification strategy. So over the last few years, we have been diversifying the group, creating new businesses, and reorganizing the businesses that have been there, that have been in existence.
HF Group's gross non-performing loans has risen to 11.96 billion shillings, up from 11.2 billion shillings a year ago, reflecting strains in servicing loans. This prompted HF Group to increase the loan loss provision from 4.9 billion shillings to 5.3 billion shillings. This in addition to higher staff costs that hit 511 million shillings and investments in its digital infrastructure that was responsible for operating expenses, increasing from 905 million shillings to 1.08 billion shillings.
As part of our strategy, we are actually lending to SMEs. We are also deploying technologies to be able to support SMEs to do the work they actually do on a day-to-day basis.
Overall, total assets increased from 62.3 billion shillings to 73.4 billion shillings. Wairimu Njenga for Prime Edition.
Now, startups certified by the Nairobi International Financial Centre Authority will benefit from reduced corporate income tax if the Finance Bill 2025 is passed as proposed. Under the proposed regulation, certified startups will pay a corporate income tax rate of 15% for the first 3 years and 20% for subsequent years. Take a look.
Under the proposed amendments to the various tax laws, including the Income Tax Act, VAT Act, and Excess Duty Act, startups certified by the Nairobi International Financial Center Authority would benefit from a lower corporate income tax rate over a period of 10 years. To benefit from the reduced corporate income tax, the Finance Bill 2025 proposes that the benefiting startup be required to invest at least 3 billion shillings in Kenya in the first 3 years of operation. The startup is also required to be a holding company with at least 70% of its employees in senior management being Kenyan citizens. The regional headquarters of the startup should also be in Kenya, with 60% of its workforce being Kenyans. In a raft of proposals, dividends paid by a company certified by the Nairobi International Financial Center Authority will be exempted from tax, where the company reinvests at least 250 million shillings in Kenya in that year of income. Benson Rioba, reporting for Prime Edition.
And that is where we close the business news this evening. Sports news is coming up with Karen Kibet. My name is Betty Kiptum. Good night.
Take a look at what's making headlines in the world of sports. My name is Karen Kibet. Now, the Sports Cabinet Secretary Salim Mvurya has reiterated the government's commitment to co-host a successful 2024 African Nations Championship, saying the progress being made on renovation of the earmarked facilities near National Stadium and Kasarani is well on course ahead of the August Championship. Mvurya gave the assurance following a 3-day tour by Confederation of Africa Football CAF inspectors who checked on the progress of the two venues and the training facilities. The CAF delegation, which was led by Secretary General Veron Mosengo Omba, gave their verdict on the ongoing preparations, saying they were impressed with the progress while urging the Kenyan authorities to keep up the momentum ahead of the Continental Showpiece scheduled from the 2nd to the 30th of August this year. Kasarani and Nyayo National Stadiums are set to host the 2024 CHAN matches, while Ulinzi Sports Complex and Police Sacco are being spruced up to act as training grounds for the championship that will be co-hosted by Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania.
We will continue with the momentum. In Kasarani today, the pitch is ready with irrigation channels. The seats are fixed. The VVIP is done. The changing rooms are done. Now we are doing VAR and the other electronic things. So I'm actually the one who is telling you, we will make sure that it happens. The requirement to pay $13 million hosting fee, which is around 1.6 billion. And as government, we've already paid that hosting fee to CAF, demonstrating the commitment, to ensure that we host this tournament.
What I can say that CAF delegation myself were happy. Of course, the detail of the outcome of this visit inspection is reserved for the CAF president, Dr. Patrice Motsepe. But what we have seen here today is really encouraging.
Now, Victor Wanyama has been called out of retirement to join the Harambee Stars provincial squad that will face Chad in 2 international friendlies. The midfielder, who features for Dunfermline Athletic FC, will be joined by, among others, Timothy Ouma of SK Slavia Prague, Alpha Onyango of Gor Mahia, Brian Musa of Kenya Police, and Adam Wilson of New Saints FC. Brian Mandela of Stellenbosch FC is also back in the squad and will man the defense with seasoned and new call-ups Kenneth Nyamwaya of Bidco United and Swale Pamba of Bandari. The goalkeepers are Brian Bwire of Polokwane City FC, Farouk Shikalo of Bandari, and Septiano Swekesa of Kariobangi Sharks, with the forwards being Moses Shuma of Kakamega Homeboys, Beja Nyamwawi of Bandari, and Emmanuel Osoro of FC Talanta. The team is expected to report to camp this Friday to prepare for the 2 international friendlies against Chad, scheduled on the 7th and 10th of June this year in Morocco. The Kenyan sprinters who qualified for the World Athletics Championship during the World Relays are set to lead up the Kipkeino Classic after being entered for the national events during the Continental Tour. They will not only use the Gold Label Tour to meet their qualifying marks to Tokyo, but also prove their capabilities as their opponents continued to jet in for the one-day international event. Boniface Moresa, David Sanayek, and Kevin Kipkorir will compete in the 400-meter men's B event, while Mercy Chebet, Esther Mbagari, Mercy Adongo will be the stars to watch in the 400-meter women's race, hoping for more glory after qualifying for the relays in the 2025 World Athletics Championship. Wiseman Were will spearhead the Kenyan challenge in the 400-meter hurdles, which has also attracted 2 entries from South Africa's Nicholas and Botswana's Kemondra. The other national event include the men's shot put and 10,000-meter men's race, which will be an all-Kenyan affair. Meanwhile, the top athletes from across the world continued to arrive for the event, including Nigeria's champion Chidi Okezie, the reigning African Games champion in the men's 400 meters. The US-born sprinter, who boasts of a personal best of 45.24 seconds, says running in Nairobi is not just about chasing medals, but embracing his roots in Africa. Okezie, who helped Nigeria win gold in the 4x400 meter relay at the 2012 World Junior Championships, believes African sprinters are earning more global recognition, and events like Kipkeino Classic will help elevate short-distance running across the continent. This will be Okezie's 3rd outdoor 400-meter of the season. He clocked 45.15 seconds for a 4th-place finish at the Botswana Golden Grand Prix last month, then claimed bronze in 45.46 seconds at the prestigious Drake Relays in the United States. Now, Simon Odongo will deputize the new Kenya Harlequins head coach, Patrice Agunda, after the club unveiled a revamped technical bench to take over the new season. Michael Shamia will head the strength and conditioning department after working with KCB and Shujaa in the same capacity, while former international Willie Ambaka comes on board as the strength and conditioning coach. Eden Agero and Brian Oyengo will take up the role of assistant coaches in charge of skills and attacks, development and women respectively. Sheila Chajira, who has been starring in the national women's rugby team, the Lionesses, has been named the Kenya Harlequins women's team coach. Kenya Harlequins won the 2024-2025 National Sevens Circuit as their women's team finished 3rd in the Kenya Cup. And those are all the sports stories we had for you tonight. I'll see you tomorrow with more sports stories. I now hand you back to my colleagues Mboya and Muchuma Odim. Good night.
Thank you, Karen Kibet, and of course, many thanks to Betty Kiptum, who was here earlier on with the day's business. We've got to go now.
Yes, thank you for your feedback on our social media platforms, and thank you for your company. Arnold Rambanya, watching KBC Channel 1 from Lavington. Elvis Oteno, watching KBC Channel 1 from the county of Nairobi. And we have John Joroge, watching KBC Channel 1 from the neighboring county of Nairobi, that is Kiambu. My name is Muchuma Odim. Our sign language expert tonight is Anwangeshi.
Well, and that concludes this live broadcast. We want to thank you so much for choosing Prime Edition to be your voice of news. My name is Mboya. We'll be back again next week. Thank you so much for watching. Good night from Nairobi, Kenya.
Say the art without art would just be, get it? We circumnavigate the globe and traverse the local scene to bring you art and culture at their very best. From fine art, culinary art, performing arts, and even cultural events, you name it, and we have got you covered.